Hi, this is Belinda Aussie Stitcher coming to you on this 4th of March 2024. Few things. It's a public holiday in WA, which means I have all my kids home. What a surprise! In the room in front of me is Sophie doing diamond art. She's also eating M&Ms and chips. So if you hear a little squirrel go, sorry. I have kids needing to, move around the house, so you might hear doors opening, closing. It is what it is. I happen to have a little bit of time this afternoon where my husband is not in the house watching TV because it's not bloody hot for a change. So he's gone. He's taken Michaela with him for a drive to do some stuff. It was just the perfect time. So I'm going to do a little bit of a life update first, because if I do it at the end, I'm going to forget and then I'm not going to do it. Then I'm going to do whips, some stuff that I was brought / given to me. And then I'm going to go through a pile of stuff that I've put together in leftover project bags I'm not using, that are stuff that I think I would like to start when I do start. And as we know, I'm trying to whip down, not whip up. These are not starts that I'm randomly going to do. These are things that I'm like, this is what I want to prioritize with all my other stash. And this literally came about, we had a cooler day and I was organizing my craft area in the office / craft room. And I was like, this is stuff that I want to start. And I had all these bags that didn't have anything in them. Let's put them to good use. Let's start kitting. So when I do feel like starting something, or I can start something, I can. So that's the general gist of today. So my last video, I was whinging quite probably loudly about the lack of rain and how hot it was. And Iona was going away to have an operation. Iona's had the operation. It went amazingly well. She's got a slight scar here, roughly here. We were at the Joondalup Hospital in Perth, and I cannot praise that hospital enough, especially the area we were on, which was the kids' room. It is very set up like the Children's Hospital in Perth, the new Children's Hospital. So the rooms had like a couch where you can sit on / bed, which is a hell of a lot comfier than chairs to sleep in. The food was mostly good. On the last day, it was pretty bad. And that was, I think, just the type of food, not the cooking. It was just not our taste. And they had an awesome cafe that was really easy to get to. That did great coffee and other bits and food. Actually, it was like 1, 2, 3 little coffee shops really close by. I actually went to one. A guy that I went to school with happened to be at the hospital doing something, and we caught up. We hadn't seen each other since we left school. Did a quick half an hour of what's been happening in our lives in the last 20 odd years. And that was a really good coffee place as well. So it was really good. Highly recommend if you're having to have anything to do with children and hospitals. Joondalup Hospital was a good alternative for us. I have heard afterwards I said that to someone and they were like, oh, they were terrible with our kid. I'm like, oh, hopefully massively improved and awesome. So we did that, came home, it was February, and I have no other words to say, but it was bloody hot. We averaged over 45 degrees for 2 to 3 weeks, and also hit close to 50 on some of those. We've been living in our town for nearly 14 years, and this would be the hottest, most revoltingest summer we have ever had. Constantly over 45, constantly that horrible heat, which equals to headaches, fatigue. I actually had 6 no stitching days because the heat was so tiring when you're working. When you come home, you just slept and tried to keep hydrating. I had discovered Powerade no sugar mango drinks, and that got me through at work because that was giving me what I needed in like electrolytes and that, while being a really nice, something different to drink besides water, because water was doing nothing. So yeah, it was horrible. School was horrible. Randomly, it had reached like, so where we live is what they call the Midwest. So you've got Perth, and we're above Perth. We're not in the Pilbara or the Kimberley, we're below that. And then you've got below Perth, which is usually cooler weather. They do get hot weather, but not extreme hot weather. So I had to laugh. We were 47, 48 degrees one day. And I read in the paper article that Albany had reached 40. And because of the fire risks and danger of being so hot, and they're worried about bushfires and everything that could potentially start, 27 schools closed in the Great Southern. And that blew my mind, because we at this stage were on our 4th day of 47, 48 degrees, and I was complimenting keeping my kids home because it was so hot. But one day of 40-degree weather and the threat of potentially someone lighting a fire and bushfires and the dangers of that, they closed, which is fair call considering we've had massive fires and home loss over east, as well as floods. It's been a crazy weather all across Australia. It's been horrible. Fast forward to 25th, 26th, and we were forecast between 20 to 40 mils of rain, and we got 18 mils. It was so disappointing. When you're really wanting that 40 mil worth of rain, 18 just doesn't seem enough. Like, it was so disappointing. My tanks weren't full. We're on a farm. We use rainwater for our water. We are not part of the scheme water like a town is. We have to supply our own water. And 18 mils just didn't fill up my tanks. And it was a beautiful, nice, steady rain, and it was like really awesome, but so disappointing. And we'll come forward another week to Saturday just been, and we were forecast between 5 to 10 mils of rain. And I'm going to put some photos in here, which is the whole point of, if I did this at the end, it would not happen. We had a dust storm the previous, when we had 18 mils, but it wasn't normally in the direction we get dust storms. I'm not very good with directions. It's that way for us where I'm sitting. Anyway, on Saturday, we had our first proper, oh my God, storm in, what do you reckon, so for 12 months? That storm, when we had the thing about 12 months, our proper first, we had the dust storm come in, and that's when you know you're getting a storm, and it's going to be wild. So the dust storm came in, and hopefully I've put in photos, and then the rain hit, and the lightning, and the thunder, and we ended up getting close to 16 mils, which is, considering I just complained about 18, it was awesome, because we honestly weren't thinking we're gonna, when you forecast 5 to 10 mils, you don't think you're gonna get a lot. So when you suddenly get, 16 mils, you're like, this is amazing. But lightning was everywhere, and thunder was crashing, and it was wild. We someone on the weather app said it was like 104 km/h winds. It was wild. A local pool is now closed because the dust storm has filled the pool with dust, and it will take days to clean it. It was so, just the rain was hitting. It was wild. Here's some more photos, hopefully. And the smell after a massive storm, it was so good. So now we're up to 30 something mils. It feels a bit better. We're now forecast for more rain next week. Slightly more optimistic feeling than I've had for a while. It's amazing how when you get these summer storms and you finally get one, and you're just like, oh my God, this is so awesome. So that's my rambling of an update. yeah, so much happier. Still need more rain. My tanks are still not full, but they're a lot better than what they were. So really happy. As I'm holding this cup, I was holding this cup in my stitchy chair. Wasn't stitching, I was just holding my cup, and a big crash of thunder hit over the house and I bloody jumped. I nearly died. Didn't spill a drop of coffee, mind you. No, don't waste coffee on a jump, but nearly died. So that's it. That is a bit of a life update. Probably a weird one because talking about the weather, but for us, it was really important. And considering, as I said, the whole of Australia has had weird. We've had flooding, we've had fires. It's been super, super crazy. We've had extremely hot weather all around Australia. It's just been horrendous. All right, enough of all that. 11 minutes in, you're here to see the whips. So my first one I'm going to show you is in my StitchNButton bag, A Perfect World. And my front cover got stuck in one of my bags and it ripped. So I'm trying to find the other one. So there we go. And in it says, in a perfect world, you would find me here with the birds and the flowers and the dogs and the deer. Which is, we don't really have deer in Australia. We do. And we actually have deer farms, but not running wild. And I am using, which I very rarely state, I'm using the Called for Weeks and Gentle Arts, which if you're getting whitewash, don't bother. Like, there is nothing there. There's actually not a huge variegation. That one has pretty good variegation, but that's really about it. And this is stitched on, I'm pretty sure I lost the card to this, but it's a 36 count ivory, I think. And I did 1,040 stitches. So you would have seen that before. There we go. And I finished that house. And then I finished across here. Loving it. So I've got a pot here and the repeating pattern down the bottom, and this will be done. So another couple of stitching sessions, I would say, another 2 to 3 months. Yay. Do love stitching on that one. On the note of zippers, as I just probably zipped, been still watching lots of whip parades. Going to having a slight rant. For everyone that has to apologise for zippers, unironed fabrics, who irons fabrics before they finish? Obviously people, but not me. And something else, I can't remember the other thing. Don't. I listen to Flosstube with earphones while my husband watches on repeat NCIS, JAG, Seal on repeat. I hear your zippers, the random noise that you don't think is there because it's been picked up, and it might slightly irritate, but I'm watching you to see your work, and you have taken time out of your day to film a floss tube for free. Thank you. And I don't know, let's not make more hassle and make people want to stop because their work is unironed or their zippers or there's a bit of Velcro or mumbling or something, like it's life. I don't think I've ever done a video without random kid noises or something, like it is what it is. Show me your beautiful work. I appreciate the fact that you've taken time to do this. Still blows my mind that people iron their fabrics before showing. That actually blew my mind more than anything. I don't know why. Or apologizing that they hadn't ironed. It just never actually entered my head to iron anything before showing. There's that. All right. Moving on. In my Melody bag is Outback Storm. So here's a picture of what Outback Storm looks like finished. Here is where the before, and I did 1,217 stitches. This is 22 count hardanger, which I would not recommend at all to do, but I'm too far in. Oh, that tree looks so good. And I worked in here. I'm doing a tree and the stormy sky. And it's going to be pretty boring from now on, because once the page is here and I'm working up, it's just going to be more of this. So got to get some boring stuff in. And I don't know when I started it, but I started this in 2015, so we're up to 9 years of stitching on Outback Storm. As my child just looks at me weirdly. Right, then we've got Anzac. Now, for the month of February, I did 1,290 stitches, but I also only did 905 of those from my update to this update. Zeb, I will message you the fabric dyer of this person, because I can't actually pronounce it. It's a frame. Anyway, I'll message it to you. I don't know. I looked and looked and looked and I can't find the actual name of it, but it is a couple of years old and possibly was a one-off. So there's that. And that is Outback Storm. And I worked in Australia. I finished the sheepy and started in down here. So if you're new to my channel, I chose the fabric to represent Australia and the black thread 310 to represent the Maoris tattoos that they have, and hopefully, like I've said before, not causing offense to anyone. It was my representation of Australia and New Zealand. That's where we are. I still don't know why we got a flamingo, but speaking of spiders, my two older girls share a bedroom and they're getting lots and lots of spiders in their room, and it's starting to really, really annoy them. They're killing spiders most nights. So they've killed a couple about the size of my hand. Oh, and another StitchNButton bag. And more coffee. And then I worked on Autumn Queen by Mirabilia. And this is, or Anzac is by Long Dog Sampler too. And I haven't really told you the others, so I won't go back too far. This is in an Emily C bag, who no longer makes bags. So Royal Holiday, MD78. And after a long discussion with myself, because it requires 3 lots of it, I've decided to do the whisper thread. Now this is stitched on Glacier by Picture This Plus 32 count Belfast. And I stitched this on my birthday because I had a birthday sale that I started extremely late, and it was stitched on a sale, something that you've already started, that you started for someone's birthday, you did a stitch along with someone. So not many people joined in. It was very last minute, but thank you for everyone who did and tagged me. Abby Bella Stitch tagged me and a couple of others, and I really appreciated it. So this is my one, and I did 1,045 stitches, and I worked in here, and I did whisper thread there, excuse my nails. And it was actually nice to get some different colors in besides here. I think I went back and worked in here as well, but it was nice to not stitch tans and browns. And you can actually see, well, I can see there's a bit of fluffiness there, so it does do something. But that was a huge do I, don't I, do I, don't I. Right, more coffee. Now this one was a big one. It's Autumn Queen, I should say, and I did 799 stitches in the month of February, but then I also kept going and I did another 928. I was trying to do something, fulfill like numbers. So you're going to see a huge difference. This is Autumn Queen by Mirabilia. And on a side note, loving these little bags from StitchNButton that holds all my other bits and pieces, my specialty thread, Cryonic. These are just treasures so that it all stays nice together. Now this is stitched on 32 count Belfast, Picture This Plus by Ancient, I'm pretty sure. Do I have my little card in here? Because I had all cards in them and then I lost them. So 1,700 and something stitches. And there she is. And you can't really see at that distance, so I'll bring it in. I did the sleeve, the arm, and the dress. In real life, you can see this clearly. It's just at a distance with all the light, it's a little bit washed out. Again, so nice to have worked in colours that weren't this. Loved it. So, and you're not seeing Lady Rose because I stitched that in February before my January update. And you haven't seen Inspirations, which is my 3-monthly whip that I work on because I just didn't reach it. But I am stitching on it now. It's on my Q-snap, and I would like to do a row finish. So I don't think I will because I only count the crosses, not the back stitching, which means that like I can do maybe 600 stitches, but it's you know, 800 something with everything. And then I need to move on. Like, I've worked enough on it that I feel like I have to move on. So my goal is that when I finish something, I'm going to maybe bring that out monthly until I get a full row. I'm only a page and a bit, 2 pages and a bit, and they're not big pages, until I finish the top row, and I would like to do that this year. But you will see that next month after my rotation. So Iona is in the kitchen because we're open plan, getting food. So for the month of February, I did 5,391 stitches. I had 6 no stitching days because it was bloody hot and busy. I'm really, really, really happy with that. So happy. I have spun my wheel, and this is Decision app wheel. Sorry, I just had a random question from the audience. Lost train. Let's start again. So plans for this month, I will still stitch on A Perfect World, Outback Storm, Anzac, Autumn Queen, Lady Rose, and Inspirations. My monthly extra piece that I spun my Decision app for is Stargazer by Mirabilia MD88. This is on a fabric of a little card, 28 Lagana Opal Blue, something, I can't even read it, by Color Cascades, which is no longer in existence. So this will get at least, it's showing up pretty good, 1,000 stitches this month. All going well. Right, and that's my plans. Now for what was I brought. Now I can't remember if I've shown this because it was not put away. So I did get from Polstitchers Yuletide Fairy, which comes in a mystery box that Joan Elliott and Polstitchers organise. And the latest one I got was The Glory of Spring. And the Polstitchers chart, which I will not stitch, is that. No, yeah, not my thing at all. But they do put a lot of work into it and they do look nice. The fabrics that I received in a mystery box. So is 32 count Morono Lagana, and this one is Blossom Trees, and the back one is Spring Bulbs. Very different. More coffee. Loving my cuts. We have an amazing post office. I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but in a small country towns, your post office is not only your post office, they're your giftware, your children's party, person that you buy from. Anyway, she had these amazing cups. Love them. My house is full of stuff that I've brought at the post office. From my friend Harriet, she was getting rid of some charts and I grabbed some of her. So I've got Miss Colombian, Laura Corbett. I do like the colours in the wings. I find some of these weird because they don't ever have a face when they face you. But this one, she doesn't face you, so I like it. Rose Collection, which I did have before, but someone else really wanted to stitch it more than me. So I gave it to them, and then I saw it finished. And I kind of went, oh, actually I do want to stitch that now. My Lady's Garden, because for the second year in a row, my garden has died and I have to restart again because of all that bloody heat. So let's stitch a garden instead. At least it won't die on me, right? And Poison Pixie. Does it have another name? Hold please. Poison Ivory. Again, because she's more looking away. Like, I don't mind it, and I don't mind the colours. Right, and that's it. Until market comes. Oh, and she also gave me this 16 count Sea Lily fabric, which is quite cute. To market comes, and then my no spending really goes bonkers because, oh my God, all the things. Right. We're already 31 minutes in, and if you don't want to see what's coming next, I totally understand, but I have a big basket of things that I kind of put into bags that I kind of went, I want to start these. These are more important than my other starts, my other stash. It's a lot. And I can understand if you don't want to sit through it all, but I kind of went, I'm going to show you. Right. When I finish in a perfect world, and then the peacock one that I want to finish, I will be starting, whether I've done 5 finishes or not, this one. And it's Seeking Refuge. Haven't got the fabric picked. I kind of would like the same as in a perfect world. And I've got all the threads. This isn't in a bag because this will go directly in the bag when a perfect world is finished. But I just love that. And it says, when the world seems to be out of control, I find a way to nurture my soul, seeking refuge with needle and thread, and the angst and anxiety no longer I dread. I need to do one for diamond painting because I have a kid that diamond paints. And then draws and other things when she's embedding. That's her thing. And Michaela crochets. I have a wild variety of things the kids do. None of them cross stitch. I don't think any of them will. Which means if I don't finish this in my lifetime, it's going to get donated to hopefully someone who will want to do it. So in an Emily C bag, in here I have the Scottish sampler, which I brought years and years ago. Have no fabric or threads with it yet. It has silks. We won't be doing silks. That would be way too expensive. And I think it's the type of silks that have no variegation anyway, so there's no point. So we'll be doing it in DMC. But wouldn't like to start that. Again, if you're new to my channel, my husband is actually from Scotland. He's from the Aberdeen area. So I don't think this has any thistles in it randomly. But where he's from, there's a lot of castles and stuff, so kind of appropriate. Right, in this, my Melanie bag, I have a friend called Melanie and she made me some bags. We have a Teresa Kogut, Remember Me. Now the idea of these being in bags and picked is that I will slowly go through and add fabric and floss. If this is not done in DMC and it's done in Week Works and that, I will get the threads, but love it. When this you see, remember me. Some do have threads, some have fabric. Mine's fully kitted, like absolutely. I obviously was going to start her at some point. I never did. This bag was made by a Flosstuber called Terry. She no longer makes bags. I do love them. Ooh, I've got 2 in here. Obviously, couldn't work out what I was going to do. I have never done an ink circle, so I have an ink circles pattern, and I have, actually I think I know the thread I'm going to use for this. I think it's the Silks for You thread that I won in their monthly giveaways. It's very out there thread. Changes like from pinks to blues to white, like it changes. I'm going to use that. And I've also got Plum Street Samplers, A Shepherd's Song. May goodness and mercy follow thee. And I've got all the threads for that, or most of it. Not the DMC by the looks of it, but yeah. Which is kind of ironic because we are seriously thinking about going out of sheep. We have the South African sheep, the Dharmas, Dorpers and Van Rooys. In this bag, which I brought off Etsy, I think. Oh, this is fully kitted. I have this Glendon Place, which I don't think I've ever done a Glendon Place either. And it's a something Scottish, something. And I've got fabric, threads, chronic, beads. May your blessings outnumber the thistles that grow, and may trouble avoid wherever ye go. Oh, and just because they're being put in this bag doesn't mean they'll stay in this bag. This was just, I had them, let's put them to use. Right, in this bag, which I think was given to me from a friend, ooh, and this is where these go, I have Autumn Quaker. I think when I finish at least one of my Rosewood Manor, I think I've got 2 on the go, I'm going to start this one, and I brought the threads for it. So, in this Stitch and Button bag, 2 Star Wars. I have this Plum Street Pant sampler on Prudence, and I look like I've started or have kitted up the threads. So this says, what's in thy mind let no one know, nor do thy friends their secrets show, for if thy friends should prove thee false, then all the world thy secrets are. Oh my God, this is so relevant to us at the minute. Kids and school. This is quite relevant, but I love it. This was a birthday gift from Stitching May, I think. If it was this one not Stitching May, then it was from Jessica Marie. Can't quite remember. Either way, it's a memorabilia, because let's have a memorabilia or 2. Nightingale by Nora Corbett. And I've just got the beads in here. I do have one that I've kitted up that isn't in here, and that's the one Sophie picked that she wanted to do, and it's been put somewhere really safe and I can't find it. In this Stitch and Button bag, is, I can't think of what it's called, but it's the Three Fairies. And I've got the fabric, which is 28 count Jobelin from Hand Done by Stephanie Melody. And I always think of these, and I do when I see any three girls together, my three girls, Sophie, Iona, and Michaela. In my Star Wars bag from StitchNButton, I have Just Say Coffee. If you can't remember my name, just say coffee and I'll turn around. I've done the first one in this, and I've half kitted it, is kitted, just need to find fabric. I got this bag from Etsy. Do we have a name? Stitch and Needles. It's a beautiful bag. And I have in here these Butterfly Fairies by Leisure Arts. These used to come in a kit, but now they're in a book. So you've got the day fairy and the night fairy. I want to do both, so I'll stitch one and then I'll stitch the other. Haven't got fabric or threads, but it is DMC. The only thing I dislike about this, and I'll show you, it's in colour. I hate colour. But fairly easy to read charts. It does have at least one line overlapping. Yeah, and DMC for the threads. Doesn't look like it has any crying or anything, so yeah. In another bag that Melanie made, we have Growing Like a Tree from the Traditional Sampler Chart. And it says, It is not growing like a tree, in bulk does make man better be, or standing long an oak 300 year to for a log at last, dry bold and serve, a lily of the day is fairer in May, unthought in fall and die that night. It is the plant and flowers of light, in small proportions we see beauty, and in short measures life may perfect be. I'm sorry if I'm reading really badly, but it's written weird. I love that. And again, as long as it's not expensive silks, I'll just do it what it's called for. Pretty sure it's DMC. In this gorgeous John Deere bag from StitchNButton is two charts for my boy. We have Weatherwise, which irritates me to no end that it's more to do with the sea than farming, but it's still the saying that we use: red sky at night, sailor's delight. We say shepherds. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. We say again shepherd. And then this one, so at some point in this StitchNButton bag, I had started this, binned the fabric, gave the chart away, regretted it about a year later. It was in a conversion, and I don't do conversions. It screws with my mind. I can't do it. So I went out and rebrought Red by Mirabilia, and I would do it as charted, not in the purple conversion that I was trying to do for Iona. I'm pretty sure I do have brought the water lilies, but I've got all the beads. So obviously in this Tartus bag, which I can't remember where I got from, I've got, it's another Teresa Colgate, and it would be this one. Let love reign in your heart and home. Love the colours to this. My favourite colour is blue. She was the one that killed me at market this year. I loved everything she brought out. They're not cheap, but well worth it. Does this have another one in it? Or is it just one? So that's, again, just got the chart. As soon as I saw it, I went, I want to start that sooner rather than later. This is another Emily C bag with another Mirabilia, and this is the one that I've got fabric, which is Angel of the Morning by Colour Cascades. I've even got all the threads, the beads, you name it, it's in here. I was going to start this at some point and never did. It is a Mirabilia, and it's the 25th anniversary Lady Mirabilia. I was gonna start her. Yep, got all the beads, everything, just never did. All the water lilies. She's fully kitted for whenever I want to. Another Emily C bag. This is very popular. It's been doing the rounds. Jessie Marie's stitching this. Laureland is stitching this. I think Sarah, My Stitching Kingdom. Vicky, Reading and Stitching. Shannon, a whole bunch of people. It's the Blue Flower. I haven't actually stitched anything from the Blue Flower, and it's the Moonlight Sampler. This was stitched on 40 count. I ain't doing 40 count. It'll be stitched on 36 count. That's the highest I'll go. And I don't know if it's everything, but I've got some threads. So in this glorious Doctor Who bag with all the bad people, the Cybermen, the Silence, the Weeping Angels. Oh, look at that bag, Soph. We were watching the Doctor Who specials when it transferred from David Tennant into, is it the 14th or 15th Doctor? It's the new Doctor after Jodie. And I think the most scariest being ever to walk this earth for Sophie was the little puppet doll thing that was moving and talking. It freaked her out. Freaked me out. Give me the Silence, give me the Cyberman, you know, the Daleks that, you know, kill everyone, but a little talking doll. But in here is a gift from my friend Megan, and it's a Joan Elliott, and it's the Rain Fairy, and she fully kitted it. I think she even put fabric in it, but it wasn't my cup of tea of fabric. So possibly, and randomly it's got a John Deere tractor that might need to get moved to something else as a need reminder. but that's in here, that's on my to-do. In this Melody bag, which will get started as soon as the other one is finished, I'll have like a finished start, is the Night Nymph, which this is also fully kitted. I have the Day Nymph started, and that is going to be in a 3-month rotation on the same fabric, and using these kind of threads, the Vandowny threads. So probably won't stay in this bag. I'll move it to the other one, which is identical to this one. But so when I finish that, I will start this one. This one in this Stitch and Button bag is for Michaela. She picked it. The Petal Fairy. And she picked the fabric too. Oh, Zeb. Are you watching still, Zeb? I got the fabric from here, from Long Dog. It is SERAPHIM, hand dyed by Laurie. I'll put it down. I'll keep this aside. Anyway, this one is Peeps. It's a linen. It is 28 count, and this is so Michaela. So I've got beads, I've got chronic. She's even picked out a needle minder. That will get started at some point. I have an empty bag from Stitch and Button, so I can get up something else. Now the Stitch and Button bag, and this is missing fabric. It's Gypsy Mermaid by Mirabilia. But I do have 4 beautiful water lilies, so many water lilies, chronic, and beads. Just need to find some fabric for it. Second last one, it's another Stitch and Button bag, and this one is Mermaid of Atlantis by Mirabilia. And I do have fabric, which is Antarctic by Picture This Plus. And I do have water lilies and chronic. So I've got all the water lilies? No. But I've got one. And I just got to put DMC in it. So there's that. And now we're down to our very last one. And this bag is a special bag because it was made to me by my friend Kay in America. She made me 2 or 3 bags, and this is going to be a restart. So I will restart at some point Enchanted Aurora, because I hated the fabric. I had done a quarter and I hated the fabric. And I'm going to reprint out that quarter that I did so I can recolor it in. So there we go. And that's it. That is all the stuff I got kitted. And because I'm going to show off, they were in this bag that I got from our post office lady. I have so many bags and baskets and that, and cups, and oh, if it wasn't for the fact that we're such a small town and you're never going to come and visit, and I don't necessarily want you to know where I live anyway, I would be like, come here and buy from her. But it's just not happening. But love it. And that's it. That is my very long, extensive video. I am thinking in my next video, I'm going to show you all my long dog samplers because I managed to have quite a few. If you're interested. And a couple of years ago, more than a couple, I'm guessing a good 5+ years ago, I did like, I showed you my stash. I showed you my Mirabilia stash, my Jane Elliott stash, and my other stash. If you are interested to see what I have and you would like that to happen, leave a comment. I do want to say I've been really bad about not hearting the comments. I have read every single one. It means a lot that you watch me in a world where there's so much awesome Flosstubers that do so much better job than me, that spend so much more time than me doing this. I appreciate that you do come and spend some time with me, and every now and then I get some new subscribers, and it's really nice. It is nice. I've been doing it since June or July, about 9 years ago, so quite a while. Definitely when I look at the original, I'm a lot thinner. I've definitely put on weight. You know, a lot has happened. You know, 4 kids, not that I started, like I had 4 kids when I started, but you know, we moved on to our own farm. I'm working now. Life is definitely busier, but I do appreciate that you come and spend time with me. And I do appreciate that my kids try to be quiet and let me do these videos, especially when they go for nearly an hour. So that's it for me. I'm going to clean up my mess, let Sophie move back to this spot so she can be in a comfy mat instead of where she is. So she so kindly moved for me. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Talk to you in a month. Happy stitching.